After Endor, the Empire found itself in turmoil, ripped apart by petty power plays and contingency orders that only served to hasten their demise. Now, one thing that became clear to a select few Imperial commanders was that the Imperial stratagem was no longer valid. The Empire had all the resources and manpower it needed, however, it still fell short in comparison to the Rebels and New Republic. For this reason, they quickly rushed to adapt to this new galaxy that they found themselves in, but what was this new stratagem, and what was the purpose for adopting it? Now, full disclosure, this video is a bit of a theory, however, it's something that makes a lot of sense to me, from what we've seen in the latest episode of Mandalorian, and some other information from post-Endor. I believe that I've created a pretty good idea of what some of the Imperial remnants were planning, and what their larger goals were. You see, the Empire's ranks were being obliterated. Countless uprisings on numerous worlds had pushed Imperials into freefall. Soldiers were quickly being butchered, trying to hold positions that were no longer valid. This in turn led to widespread desertion across numerous fronts as Imperial soldiers and commanders tried to escape justice. The Empire's supply of soldiers, weapons, and munitions had either been conquered by the New Republic, or in some cases, they'd just been destroyed by the Empire itself during its scorched earth policy, Operation Cinder. The Imperial Navy had also found itself being made redundant as fuel and munitions ran dry. Now, for these reasons, some of the Imperial remnants knew that they needed to adapt, and do so quickly before they were hunted down and butchered by the quickly growing New Republic. For this reason, they needed not only supplies, but also capable soldiers to use them. The Imperials will have likely changed its tactic away from the idea of superior numbers and firepower, instead leaning more towards guerrilla movements themselves. The exact same way the rebellion had hit so hard against the Empire. Simply put, the war was no longer in their favour. They were now on the back foot, and for this reason, it was no longer viable for them to attempt to fight the New Republic or Rebellion in a straight-up war. They needed to be smart. We know that some Imperials, such as Moff Gideon, seem to be playing around with bioengineering, genetically enhancing soldiers to make them far more effective, and also skipping the years' worth of training and experience that normal veterans would require. We see that Gideon has had Death Troopers, who had largely been unseen since Scarif, as well as a new batch of mysterious Stormtroopers who do definitely appear to be bioengineered. We also need to look at how those like Gideon used smaller ships, ditching the awe-inspiring Star Destroyers for smaller, more nimble corvettes. The purpose here was to avoid being caught by the pursuing New Republic. Star Destroyers are incredibly powerful, obviously. However, in this type of new war, these destroyers were big, they were expensive, and they were very tempting targets. And simply put, the Imperials lacked the crew to be able to manage them, and they also lacked the supplies to be able to use them very effectively. They also adapted their TIE fighters to the Outland model. Now, the big thing about the Outland model is that the wings collapse, allowing the pilots to quickly disembark and be on ground. This is something that the original TIE fighter did not have. This easy disembarking means that their soldiers could function more as marines, seamlessly adapting from air and space to the ground. This is incredibly different to the highly regimented Empire of old, where Navy pilots would be never expected to fight on a battlefield, and vice versa. You would never see a stormtrooper in a TIE fighter. So it does definitely seem like these new Imperial remnants, at least the ones who were very eager to survive, are seeming to adopt a more all-covering tactic, where their soldiers are proficient in everything, not just one type of combat. Now, the ultimate goal of this new Imperial regime is quite interesting. Now, we know that they must live to serve Palpatine's contingency. However, this is probably too little too late. Despite this, I don't believe that it is their goal to take back the galaxy. At the end of the day, I think to somebody as smart as Gideon, he knows pretty well that the chances of the Imperial remnants actually coming together and defeating the New Republic is slim to none. However, I do believe that Gideon and others will have known about the plans to create the First Order. We know that the First Order was founded in the Uncharted regions. Now, the thing that we need to remember about this is since that this is uncolonized territory, it's going to take soldiers to carve out planets and colonize these worlds. Not only this, but the Empire and the Imperial remnants still need to be able to intervene with the rest of the known galaxy. They need to pull strings and to keep the New Republic at bay, ensuring that they won't attack them, and also ensuring that they can still siphon resources from the known galaxy into the uncharted regions so they can begin construction of the First Order. They couldn't have a massive army to do this. If they had millions of stormtroopers and hundreds of Star Destroyers, it would simply draw far too much attention. The New Republic would definitely scramble ships and soldiers to go and fight them. They needed a small, aggressive strike force that could not only tear through the harsh alien worlds of the unknown regions, but also strike out and hurt the bureaucrats and businesses of the New Republic when needed. Ultimately, I believe that this is how the First Order is going to come about. Not on the backs of countless stormtroopers and titanic Star Destroyers, but of a far more precise and far more deadly Imperial military, headed by smart and very dedicated minds. But what do you guys think? Do you believe that this new stratagem shift for the Imperials is accurate? And do you think that it's a good idea? And what would you recommend to the Imperials? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. I do quickly want to say I am sorry for the delay in videos recently. It is a bit of a hectic time for me at the moment. However, I am working hard to make sure that I can get videos out as soon as possible. If you did enjoy it, please do remember to like, share, and sub, as it is really appreciated and it does help the channel grow. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at The Lore Guy and tick the bell to get regular updates on whenever new videos are released. But most importantly, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.